Chapter 14, Symbol. A major supporting detail would be symbols in everyday life and literature. An example from the book is a symbolic object or act. My example would come from Tim O'Brien's story, The Things They Carried, on pages 427 and 437. Lieutenant Jimmy Cross receives a stone from Martha, which is a woman he loves, and this stone he carries with him in his mouth throughout most of the war. And he does so because the pebble is a symbolic object to him, and it either represents separate but together, how she said, which could symbolize the pebble being the midpoint, because she's over there and he's over here, so it's like a midpoint kind of. Or it could represent Martha and how he loves her. Another major supporting detail would be symbol and allegory. An example from the book is The Lesson to Be Learned. My example would also come from Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried. The lesson to be learned from the story is the baggage you carry. Don't let it weaken you, because there are many consequences. For example, Lieutenant Jimmy Cross. He carries baggage of his love for Martha, and he always thinks about Martha and their past times and what he should have done or what he can do whenever he gets back. And when he does this, when they're trying to blow up the tunnel, he's not even there, and he's the main leader and telling everybody what to do. And so Tim Lavender, he gets shot because the security from outside and Lieutenant Jimmy Cross just was weak because of his baggage, and that was a consequence was one of his soldiers dying. And another major supporting detail is recognizing and appreciating symbols. The example from the book is reoccurrence, especially gives an image importance, drawing attention to it, suggesting it has significance beyond the ordinary. And my example is still from Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried. It kept saying different things they would carry throughout the story. For example, what they carried varied by mission. What they carried was partly a function of rank, partly field specialty, and the things they carried were determined to some extent of superstition and necessity. For example, a guy that was big, he carried more rations, more food, and on the superstition, some of them carried a rabbit's foot, which symbolizes good luck. And that'll be all for chapter 14.